Hello everyone. Sorry here. Thank you so much for joining me for. Sorry, these zombies are looking at me and it's throwing me off. This is Kendra Card Challenge super sponsor with Artful Angels, and I got to play with these fun zombies. I've never played with such interesting looking images for card making. And I have two stamp sets here. This one is called The Brains, and this one's called Alive. So these are the two I've been playing with, and I've been having a lot of fun, but I decided I would go with this girl here. She looks so unimpressed. Like, even being a zombie, it's like, ugh, whatever. And that's exactly what I'm going to go with. And you can see I already got some inky fingers from playing. And yeah, so I'm going to be playing with this image here, and I've already got everything cut out. So I was going to move everything over here. And we're just going to assemble this, and I'm going to make this into some fun action-packed comic card. And it's just going to be with this really unimpressed zombie. I love her so much. It's just fantastic. So the sketch that I'm going to be following is sketch number 3, and that should show up on the screen very shortly. And it's a very simple sketch. So I have my pieces here. I have some comic book paper, and I'm just going to start gluing this down. So these are measuring 3 inches by 5 inches, and then you technically these two, I believe, yeah, are together. So it's 3 inches by 5, and then you just cut from one end to the other. If you're following the instructions, the cutting guides, it'll all be there. If you are just going to do this one sketch, then you can follow the guides on the sketch itself to how to create this one card. Now, this does not ask for a matte layer on these sections, but I'm going to do it anyways. I thought this would be kind of fun, just to give a little bit of character. Is you see how I'm not lining them up? I'm kind of making them go off a bit. I think that's going to be really neat because we have all these explosions and we have these jagged excitement. I think this is going to be really neat when we add it together. But I will have to trim off some of it when I get there because I want to still make sure that everything is nice and flush. So now I'm just going to glue my second piece down. And once again, this is the same thing. It's 3 inches by 5, cut in a triangle. And bonus points if you know what the name of this triangle is. I forget. It's been too long since I've worked with triangles in elementary school. Okay, so there we go again. Now, for these extra pieces, all I did was I just roughly cut it about 5 1/4 by 3 1/4. And obviously my cut's not straight, but that is totally fine because as long as I get the extra piece in the bottom, I am okay. And then I'll just kind of snip these off right here, just being very careful not to cut my paper. I could use a trimmer, but I find this would be a little bit safer and more forgiving. And I'm going to do the same thing for this one right here. And we'll just cut that off. And now we have our design. So this is going to be an A2 size card. So we got 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, and we're just going to glue these down here. And we're going to have a little bit of height because we've layered these. So the top layer is not going to glue directly onto the card base, which is absolutely fine. It's about 1/8 of an inch. It's not touching. It's not a big deal. And even less on the areas where we cut, because that black paper is going to go right there. So we just have to glue right where the black is and glue that right down. I'm not sure how my imagination thought comic book style with this zombie, but it sure did. And you know what? When it comes to your imagination, you just don't question it. You know, if you start questioning your imagination, then you might start losing it. And I definitely don't want to take the chance on that. So you just keep entertaining that imagination of yours, and you might come up with some pretty interesting sketches here. Oops, not that far down. Okay, so we'll just tuck this one right in the corner so everything's flush. right along here, and we want to make sure everything's flush along here. Now look at that. That's pretty cool. It almost has this, it's sticking out, even though it's not that much. It just has this interesting feel to it. I really, really like that. If you wanted to, you can have it so that your black goes all the way across to the edge, and then you have a nice solid black line. I really like how this is looking. That's kind of fun. But I know some people like to have their designs nice and, what's the word? Symmetrical? It's not symmetrical, it's just tidy. Let's put it that way, nice and tidy. Okay, so this sketch does have a circle, and what I've done here is I've just taken some paste. It's this grip paste I've had forever, and not sure what it is. I was expecting sand or something in it, but it's actually quite fluffy. Anyways, I took a stencil, kind of like the dots in here. I just stenciled that with just whatever I had on hand, let that dry, and then what I want to do is I'm going to ink it up a bit because it is a little bit bright compared to that. And so I'm just going to bring in some yellows and some browns here. I'm going to start with amber. This is why my finger's yellow, because I was testing to make sure this is okay. Because you don't want to go all this effort and then find out that the inking is what stopped it. So I'm just going to go around the edges very lightly. I know it's going to give this nice amber color, almost similar to this. And this is what I want, so it's not so bright over the whole thing. Like, I don't want that whole oval to be so bright. And I'm just going to kind of, with a light hand, slowly move towards the center. Not all the way in the center. I just want to do a very light hand because I want to kind of smooth it out. And now you're wondering why I have the brown. Well, that's just because I see explosions here. And so I kind of feel that even with explosions, she's not impressed. You can't impress her. There's nothing you can do. She doesn't see. She's like, you know what, whatever. You do what you need to do. And so I'm going to darken up these edges just a smidge with some vintage photo. And we're going to make it look like it's almost like a toasted marshmallow. That's what it's looking, a yellow toasted marshmallow. But we're going to kind of toast the edges here. There we go. And then what I'll do is I'll just finish it off with, I'm not going to get more yellow. I'm just going to finish off with what's in here and just kind of smooth that out. Oops. And you got to be careful not to be too fast because you don't want to damage your paper. There you go. It's kind of fun. It has this nice edge here, and you start off with that nice bright yellow. And I'm okay that everything's colored. It really does look like, when paper starts to burn, it starts to lift and stuff. So I really think that looks pretty cool. Yeah, okay. She doesn't care. Oh man, she makes me laugh. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to prop this up. Yeah, I'm going to prop this up. I just need to go right in the center there. I don't need to worry about the rest of it. But before I tape that down, I'm just going to start positioning my character here. She can stand right here. And then I'm just going to have my sentiment right about here. There we go. I think that's looking pretty good. It is busy, but I think it's fantastic. And she doesn't seem to care. That's awesome. Oh, goodness. Okay. So we'll just stick her right about here. I want her to be kind of off this oval here. I don't want her to be completely on it. There we go. Now there is a little bit of texture on this card, so I am holding it down just to make sure that that liquid glue adheres. And then I will just glue my sentiment onto the left-hand side. And I'm not too worried about the white around the sentiment because I have white on my card showing, so it kind of ties in. And then there's white around this girl as well, the zombie. Okay, that's looking good. And I don't need to worry too much about adding foam tape behind these areas because it's just a small area, and so she can just float and it won't matter too much. Okay, let's put this right in the center here. as best as we can. Yeah. So that's it. I'm going to keep this very simple. I could add more to it. I could have inked up the pattern paper here so it stood out more. I could shadow around the outside. Like I could have created, similar to the edges here, I could have added a shadow around this oval. I could also add some shading around her so that it would pop her up. But I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to keep it nice and simple, just in case. I don't want to ruin it. Once I submit this card, maybe then I will play with it and see if I add some shading. Sometimes that works, but the texture is what's going to throw me. I think if I try to color on that, it's going to be an experience I've never done before. But I like her. She is so unimpressed with what I did. I think it's fantastic. So this is a stamp set from Artful Angels, and it is called Brain. And I hope you enjoyed this. This is a very quick video, and I had a lot of fun making it. Don't forget to check out what the other designers have created for inspiration for your Kendra card submissions. You do have until the end of September to finish with Kendra card 15, and you definitely want to do that because there is prizes to be won. And there is also a chance to win on this hop, and that's to win a digital download from Cards by Kendra. So until the next time, I hope you have a great day. I hope this unimpressed zombie I hope this unimpressed zombie cheers you up and you have a great, fantastic day. Until the next time, I'll talk to you all later. Take care. Bye.